Kofi, let me ask you this. Let's take one example. Cynthia Morrison. Today, Cynthia Morrison, who the Supreme Court insists is a member of the NPP, is currently in Agona West in the Ashanti region, campaigning as an independent candidate, telling the voters in Agona West not to vote for the NPP candidate because there is one in Agona West. She's campaigning against the NPP candidate in Agona West, but the Supreme Court says she's still an NPP member. Is that not absurd?
It is not absurd. What the Supreme Court is saying is that Cynthia Morrison has not declared that she has left the NPP. Kojo, there are many NDC members, NPP members who stand up, criticize their party, and do all the things that you are talking about. So,
but she's campaigning against the NPP member in her constituency.
Let me land. You are dealing with issues of constitutional interpretation affecting the life of Parliament. To say that somebody is standing in Gomwa somewhere and campaigning, and because of that, the Constitution should be interpreted differently, and the life of Parliament should be affected in a certain way, it doesn't work. So look, when Martin was talking about, how can they be in cabinet together, the political parties can sack the members. The members can determine that they are no longer members of the party. Okay? And I appreciate the fact that Martin is not arguing the law. He is not really saying that the law of what the Supreme Court justices have done is wrong, but he is disagreeing with them. Let us get that. The law as it is today is what has been set out, and rightly so. Because the fact that Cynthia Morrison, if Cynthia Morrison wants to leave NPP, she should do so. She should declare that I have left the party. And it is possible that you can be in a party and be very disaffected and be very upset. There are persons who, I don't want to give too many examples, in other places where, they belong in the party, they disagree with the party, they go out and speak against the party, but they continue to belong to the party. The progressives and the Democrats in the U.S. are a very good example. So we can go on and on and on about that, but this is about the interpretation of the law. Now,
all right. So Kofi,
forgive
me. Let's practicalize it. So what you are saying is that right now in Agona West, which, forgive my mistake earlier, it's in the central region. Right now in Agona West, by the Supreme Court's ruling, there are actually 2 NPP members on the ballot in Agona West.
No. What the Supreme Court is saying is that people have a right to campaign or associate differently and come into the next parliament. But today, as we speak, has Cynthia Morrison come and told you that I am no longer a member of NPP? Those things are easy. The campaign and I'm saying there are people who are NPP members. Look, people vote skirt and blouse all the time. And there are times when people actually say that you can vote for this person, but come and vote for me. All right? I sitting here, I have never belonged to any political party. I will speak for this political party on an issue. The next time I'll speak for a different political party. And there are Apia Kofi or whoever. There are many instances of people who belong in political parties who have spoken against their political party. So don't let that confuse the state of the law. The law simply says you have to declare that you belong here or you don't. You have to be sacked or not. The political parties can sack you.
Okay.
And so that happens. What is the status quo in law? It's the status quo in law.
Okay, one more example and then we'll move on. Andrew Esiama Amoako. Now, he came into parliament as an independent member for Fomena. Currently, if you go to Fomena, Andrew Esiama Amoako is on the ballot as the NPP candidate. Kofi, are you saying that Andrew Esiama Amoako can put himself on the ballot as the NPP candidate without joining the NPP?
I am saying that what happens in the NPP does not change the meaning of the Constitution. What happens in the NPP does not change the fact that in this particular parliament, Andrew Esiama is an independent member of parliament. And so let's not conflate the issue. If Andrew Esiama wanted to change in this parliament his political party, he can do so. Let me ask you a question, which was raised in the ruling. If 2 political parties decide to merge, what happens to their members in parliament? They don't lose their parliamentary seats. Meanwhile, the political parties have decided to merge. So tomorrow, NDC and NPP come together and they say we are one party, united party. The members of parliament don't lose their seats simply because of what is happening in the party. So I think it's important And the judges are telling you that let us separate what people do outside, okay, from what the law says and what it means in terms of how Parliament functions. And Parliament's functioning is dependent on the declaration that I belong to Party A or I belong to Party B, or I have removed myself from Party A or I have removed myself from Party B, expressing an intention for a future Parliament, registering for a future Parliament, going out and speaking against my political party does not mean I have vacated my seat in Parliament. In Parliament, somebody took off for many, many weeks or months, and when they were not working in Parliament, even that we did not consider that they had vacated their seats, etc. So look, this is a matter of law.
Right.
And as for disagreement, people can disagree. The Constitution has succeeded in delivering to us political stability beyond any constitution. We need to review it to make sure that it does better. And nobody can say this constitution is bad. It's the best that we have had.
Okay.
So the law is settled. Those who disagree can disagree. But the people with the power and authority to do the interpretation have interpreted.